In today's video, we're going to check out a brand new pair of glasses from Xreal. These are called the Xreal One, actually specifically featuring the X1 chip that is a self-developed chip that provides us the ability of getting a lot of the functionalities that previously we needed a companion device, a companion app to provide us the control. I'm talking about changing the size of the display that you're watching, changing the pitch of the display, how far it is from you. But not only that, also configuring the audio, configuring the electrochromatic display configuration, all done on the actual glasses, making them very versatile and independent of what system you're connecting them to. In fact, you don't even need an app connected to this to be able to control all of the functionalities on the brand new Xreal One. So without further ado, this is TK, and these are the brand new, most exciting pair of AR glasses I've had the opportunity to review today. Let's check out the brand new Xreal One and see all of the cool features that it brings. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. This is the package that I got from Xreal. We have the Xreal One, the one, of course. This is the one. This is basically the glasses themselves, and we'll check out what comes in the box. Now, they also included this. This is the prescription insert option. They do come with clear glasses right now. You can obviously go to your provider and make sure to get the right prescriptions put in there, and then you'll be able to use them. So in case you need to use glasses with AR glasses in the past, now you know that you can actually do that. Again, if you don't need that, for the most part, no issues. There are options on the actual unit itself to be able to configure the IPD options. Now, they did include the lens inserts here. This provides you the ability of using prescription lenses directly with the glasses, and I'll show you guys how these actually interact directly with the main system. Now, in the box, we do get a carrying case. It's a hard shell case. Gives us the ability of protecting the glasses, as well as the cable that we have in here and the chamois to keep the glasses clean. They do provide us an additional couple of extra options here, large and small, for the nose pads. Now, the ones that are built in on this, they're medium size. Again, gives you the ability of customizing your experience to the way that you like them. The other option, of course, is the instruction information here. Just to keep in mind, there is arm adjustments up and down. So basically, you're able to adjust the actual arms in there, and it's going to sound like I'm breaking them, but I promise you it's not. And of course, as we talked about them here, the ability of customizing the actual nose pads to get the best comfort. As far as the actual glass inserts, in the box itself, they come with obviously the clear glass in here. These are not prescription. You take this directly to your optometrist, provide you the right prescription lenses, and they'll mount them for you. Once you have that done, you'll be able to use the two anchor points that we have in here to the bottom of the glasses, and then you'll be able to use them with your Xreal Ones. Now, when it comes to the actual case, as I talked to you guys, again, it is a hard shell case, provides total protection here. Opening it up is pretty straightforward. We have access to the glasses. We'll put them on the side. These are the Xreal Ones. There's a USB-C cable, and again, it is a tilted side here a little bit for the glass. So you know the one that looks like this will fit directly into the glasses, and of course, the straight one will go straight to your device. As you can see here, it is nicely threaded. It looks really nice, and of course, just sits at the bottom of the actual case itself. They do include a nice little Xreal chamois that provides the ability of keeping the glasses clean. I will say they're a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but otherwise, this will keep it clean for you. A few things to talk about when we start talking about the actual design. First and foremost, obviously, standard glasses. We've seen them before. We have a nice little X button, or what they're calling the X button. This is very similar to what we had on the Xreal Beam Pro. If you notice, there's the red-orange button. It's pretty much the exact same. And what essentially it provides us the ability is configuring or changing the different display mode, or the basically depth of field modes that we have. There's three different options that we have in here: anchor mode, follow mode, and side view mode. And we're going to talk about that a little more. Now, here is typically what we use for the brightness level out of the box, configurable. And of course, we have a microphone, the speakers that we have in here. And one thing to mention, again, this is the Xreal One. The name is positioned on the right stock. On the left side here, we'll notice that it says Sound by Bose, and that is something that's going to give us the experience that we want. Again, USB-C connector on the left arm, providing us the experience there. There is no batteries in here, although the processing is built in, and all of that is done with the hardware sitting in the bridge here at the top. So there's, for the most part on the side here, is just basically wiring and of course the sound experience. We do have obviously the microphones positioned right there. Now, and if you are going to be using those glass inserts that I mentioned to you guys for the prescription, the two anchors are positioned right here on the front behind the actual nose bridge. So that allows you to actually put them in there, and they'll sit in front of the glasses while you're using them. So for all intents and purposes, you basically put that on, and then you snap it on this one, and the glasses will basically sit in front, providing you the prescription level that you need, as well as using the glasses at the same time. Now, one thing you may have noticed is that there's a small compartment sitting right in front of that. So between the actual, where we put the prescription lenses, as well as the actual nose bridge here, that actually is going to be for a camera attachment that they're working on as well. That's going to be something that they're able to add into this coming in later on. So it's currently not available, but the camera attachment is supposed to provide us the ability of putting the camera and actually having it sit again at the eye level of where your eyes are looking. So when you're using the camera, it actually provides an eye level experience as opposed to having it sitting to the top right, top left, or even top center. It actually sits at the same level as your eye. It doesn't actually take too much, and it actually sits right there as I'm showing you guys with that image that was provided to us directly from Xreal. It should basically be a very nice experience. The last thing I do want to talk about is that the frames themselves here are removable, or at least the attachment on the front is removable. They're not magnetic, so you do need to be careful when you're removing them. But the only thing I'll probably say is you remove them on one side, remove them on the other side, and at this point, when they're available, you're able to pick up additional frames to provide that little more customization level. Now, we talked about at the beginning, again, you just basically are able to adjust. You notice here, it sounds like I'm breaking it, but I promise you it's not. So there's 3 different levels of adjustment. There's medium, high, and low, which essentially down all the way to the top. So again, you should be able to fit any face and configure it to the level that you want, and both provide us that experience. So you can basically adjust, bring it down. And again, at the end of the day, for me, I use them in the standard configuration, standing up. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. The last thing I do want to share with you guys is here we have an additional button position at the top. Now that's going to be the one that is basically a quick action button that we're able to customize directly within the UI. Now to use the glasses is pretty straightforward. You just need to connect them to a source that provides video over USB-C. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is not every smartphone on the market will do that. And some of the devices on the market use an adapter or need an adapter to basically be able to use it. But intentionally what we're using right now is the Find X8 Pro here. We're also going to be demoing it on, of course, the Samsung Z Fold 6. Last but not least is, of course, the Xreal Beam Pro. This is automatically supported by the time it's actually released. So this pretty much is the standard solution that currently is available from Xreal to provide us access to some of the functionalities that are now built in to the glasses themselves. Again, they share the same orange or red button that we have in here for configuring the display and the ability of anchoring and moving the actual display with us. As you can see here, the display itself mirrors exactly what I have on my display here. And of course, if I tilt my display sideways, it actually also mirrors it exactly the same way. Matches the orientation of my phone. I'm sorry, it's actually kind of ever so slightly drifting here because of the actual anchor mode that we have in here. But you can definitely see the clarity, the image, everything looks absolutely fantastic, and it represents the colors. The displays that we have in here are actually very nice. These are Sony Micro OLEDs. So on the standard model, it's 0.68 inches, and on the Pro model is 0.55 inches, providing us a bigger field of view. 50 degrees field of view on here, up to 120 hertz refresh rate, 1080p panels. Again, both position upwards, and then of course they reflect using the actual glasses, providing the displays directly into your eyes. You can see right there that we're changing the experience, and of course it just plays the video exactly as my display is mirroring. It's using, again, display mirroring on this point. Any video that does go full screen will play full screen on the actual displays. As far as the depth of field information that we have in here, there's 3 different modes available here, as well as 3 different, basically electrochromatic glass configuration. On the top, I have it configured right now. If I click it once, it goes into medium. One more, it goes to super dark. And I'm actually, you can kind of see it on how you're not able to see my glasses anymore. Pushing the button one more time takes me back to more of a pass-through mode. One thing to mention is make sure that your device does not go to sleep. And then once you're in the mode here, the first option that we have is called follow mode. Follow mode allows the display to move with you. Now, this is where the X1 is flexing its power, because what it's doing for us is, as opposed to having a jerking motion, meaning it's just sitting in front of me and it just moves right with me, it actually has a gradual acceleration and a gradual deceleration when it's moving with us. Meaning if I'm looking at it right now, I'm looking at you guys right now, and I move my head, come back right there, it doesn't have that jerking motion. It just naturally moves with me, and then it comes back. And then it sits again at the position where I'm sitting at the end. Now, this obviously, it's not going to work as, let's say somebody comes up to you and wants to talk to you, but if, let's say you're in a car, you're in an airplane where there's movement in your face and you don't want to lose, obviously, focus of what you were watching before, this is going to work perfectly for you. The X1, again, leverages the benefit that we have in here, and it gives you all that experience. Now, the next mode that we have, if we click the red button again, that takes us into anchor mode. Anchor mode, pretty much, also just a little bit of a tip. Every time you switch a mode, it puts a little pop-up in front of you telling you which mode you're in. Now, anchor mode provides us the ability of anchoring the actual display, meaning if I turn my face this way, the display is no longer there. I can turn it back, it stays where it is. Now, again, we're going to talk about configuring the distance and the size that we're able to go to. But this provides me the ability of actually, let's say I want to be able to work on something and somebody comes on, I can move over and I can talk to them without missing what I'm doing. Again, the sound doesn't stop, but the experience stays where it is. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is called side view. Now, side view provides us a very unique experience. What it does essentially is it shrinks the display, and it shrinks it down to a small size that it puts it on the side part. Meaning, in my field of view right now, if this was, let's say, a rectangle in the situation here, the side view is sitting on the top right. So I can see through them. I can see you, and you guys can see pretty much where I'm doing. And again, I can also dim the glasses so that it becomes very dark. It becomes clear, and that's one of the beautiful things there. But the experience that you're getting here is, for the most part, is allowing you to be in the moment, doing what you need to do, working, talking to people, without losing what the content that was supposedly originally planned. That, let's say it's a reel, let's say you're watching something, or let's say you're watching a long form, like let's say a live podcast or something like that. You can just put it up there, 16 by 9, 9 by 16, not an issue. It basically conforms to what your device is, and if I tilt the device sideways, it'll tilt it and it'll play again in the top right configuration. In the settings, you're able to turn it on. By default, it is not turned on. You need to go into the settings. And then you're also able to position it either to be on the top left or top right. Again, 3 different settings, very simple, cycling through them using the actual the X button that we have in here, and it makes it very nice. And the nice thing about them also is that we're also able to configure the display size. And this is where it gets very, very nice. So on the actual unit itself, you double press the red button, it takes in and it brings in the display menu. Now the display menu, I'm showing you guys a little bit of a snippet there because it's hard to record while actually using it. But the biggest difference also I would say is when you go into the display settings, you click the power button or the X button again, there's screen size. And when you click that in there, the maximum screen size that we're able to see here, it says it's 167-inch display. Now, that by itself, typically, if you just expand the display without changing the actual pitch of it, is a little bit hard because I actually have to kind of look up and down to get that experience. What we get here, though, is the ability of changing also the distance of where that is. And what that means is if I go into the screen size, there's an extra section here called screen distance. At a default, it's at 4 meters. And then here, what I'm able to do is I'm also able to push it up 5 meters, 6 meters, 7 meters, 8 meters, 9 meters, 10 meters. And that's going to be the distance in there. So although I've expanded the display, I'm actually now pitching it at about 10 meters distance, meaning it actually feels like as if the display is about 10 meters away from me at a very large size. When you have it at that distance, you're able to go back into the screen size and increase the display all the way to the next maximum level, ultimately giving you the ability of filling up the actual display in front of you. The actual field of view is about 50 degrees, which provides you the experience here. But the benefit here is that you can actually adjust now the size of the display, the distance of the display, without having to worry about the phone. If I connected this to my PC, this display would be my PC's referencing there. If I'm connecting it directly to my iOS device, it'll work the exact same way. And this makes it so much more functional than having to rely on the X-Beam Pro. Although we can still use it and compatibility is coming to this by the time the unit itself becomes available publicly. The big difference about this is that now that the glasses are like this with the X1, they're independent of what you're using them with. So that provides you the experience, or the best experience in there. Now, a couple of other things to mention in here. Under the display section, when you go in there, there's obviously the screen distance you're able to customize. We have the option of going into ultra-wide mode, 3D mode, the ability of turning on stabilizer. That's where the X1 kind of leverages the power of what we get in there. And we also have the ability of covering the brightness enhancement, but unfortunately not available with stabilizer in there. So we have the ability of turning on stabilizer mode, the ability of turning on and turning off side view mode, as I mentioned to you guys, and then customizing where the side view needs to happen. Double pressing this takes us back one level. We have the ability of customizing the audio and the ability of changing the audio protocol. There's 2 options in here. There's UAC and DP. UAC is the default one, and that's going to give you the ability of using the Bose configuration. The sound is going to sound amazing. And the DP functionality, in case for any reason you do not get audio out of the box from your device, that'll be the one that you want to do. Let's go ahead and go back in, and we're going to go one more down. Now, the next level here is under the shortcut button, and that's that button that we have at the top. Currently, you have the ability of customizing it in a few different ways. You can turn on transparency mode, ultra-wide mode, 3D mode, or audio protocol, or of course, the electromagnetic dimming in there. For me, that's what I've been using, switching between the different profiles. Long pressing it, you're also able to change the different custom option in there. So there's a single click and a long click on the little shortcut button that we have in there. Double pressing the red button again goes back in there. And then last but not least is under tutorial, or its settings section. You can go in there. There's tutorial. That's where we're also able to customize the sensor calibration, the language settings, currently supporting. Let's go ahead and see here. We have English. I'm assuming English, Mandarin, simplified and traditional, and Spanish, French, Dutch, Italian, Korean. I'm assuming this is Thai, Polski, which is Polish, I'm assuming, and Sesnia, I'm assuming Czech. I'm assuming all these languages because I don't really know how to read the other languages, but again, hopefully that makes sense. We also have the ability of resetting to factory settings in case for any reason you do need to do that. Regulatory information, software version in there, and of course serial number customization. On their software version, you don't have the ability of customizing it directly in here, but it does explain that on a system, you just need to go to xreal.com/OTA, and that's going to give you the ability of doing this, and you need to use it with a Chrome browser. So that information is built in here for over-the-air updates, so you're able to update the software on there. And as I mentioned to you guys, the shortcut button lets me change the electromagnetic glass configuration here, which again, for where you're on the go, you don't have to worry about going in there and changing things. So the volume marker that we have on the right side does a couple of things. A, changes the brightness of the actual display, so you can go all the way to as bright as you'd like. But B, if you press and hold the volume up part of it, or essentially the increased functionality of it, it turns on the electromagnetic function as well. So you don't necessarily have to pair it to this. The quick action button makes it simple and very easy to use. Now, the last thing before we start talking about the overall experience, as I showed you all the demos, we're going to listen to a little bit of an audio sample directly on how does the actual sound come from the glasses themselves. We're going to be playing, obviously, our favorite song, Alex Scrindo, Jumbo by NCS Release.
Jack it up.
So as you heard there, the audio sounds absolutely fantastic, and it is one of the better solutions that you can find on the market right now. Bose configurations out of the box are configured and turned on. You do have the ability of, again, turning on the display audio, essentially in case you have any concerns in there, but by default, it's automatically set in there, and the volume level is configurable on the glasses directly within the settings tab, or you could just configure it on the device that you're using. Okay, so here's a little bit of a trippy experience. I'm actually using the glasses right now, and let's go ahead and turn on a little bit the electromagnetic glassing configuration here. And I've already went through the settings section. I'm actually not only able to just see you guys, I'm actually looking at the replay of the video straight in my glasses. So although I'm actually holding the phone, I can actually see exactly where I am, and I can position myself if I can get used to it. The first thing I want to mention overall, obviously, is the audio that we're listening to right now is coming straight from the glasses themselves. So meaning the two microphones that we have here on the right and left are picking up the audio, and this should sound absolutely crisp. So you can pick up calls, answer, receive calls, and obviously everything's going to work great. Once the camera attachment is available, I'm hoping to be able to test it out. Again, the camera will basically be connected right here under the actual bridge and providing you the eye level experience. It's centered, so meaning whenever you're looking at, if you move your head right or left, it's going to move with you. So hopefully we'll be able to test that out, and I'll share that with you guys in a separate video. But the overall experience with configuring the IPD option here to be able to make sure that the glasses are providing you that software experience where it makes sure that the glasses or the actual lenses are projecting the image in the right configuration, so you get that clear, crisp image. And you can enjoy having up to 120 hertz refresh rate, obviously supported here on those micro OLEDs that we have in here, the Sony micro OLEDs that we have. So all of those customizations, the ability of changing, again, the elecchromatic option here, I have it set up in here, the ability of changing the on the right side here with the volume rocker, the ability of changing the brightness, also configuring all the options that we want in here. But my hope is that this provides you a good example of what the audio sounds like. We already heard what the speakers can do. Now we're also listening to what the microphones can do on the brand new Xreal One. The demos that I showed you guys, again, it works on iPhone, again, as long as you have a USB-C version, and you're using Android devices that have DisplayPort support or video over USB-C. Again, not every device supports it. Of course, if you want to be able to even take it to the next level, devices like the Z Fold 6 and the S24 Ultra that provide us the ability of using DeX as a desktop experience are very nice, because you turn it on, you connect it directly into your device, and when you're turned on, connected to as far as the display mode, that turns on the functionality of having DeX become the actual display in front of you. You use your phone as your mouse, and you're able to customize that experience to the next level by using it like a laptop without even having to have a laptop with you. Something that's very nice. Again, Motorola devices also support them as well. They have Ready For built into them. Honor devices have desktop mode, or is basically what they call Magic UI desktop mode. Some of the other devices on the market as well support desktop experiences. VLC for me works the best on my Android devices because what I like about it is it recognizes that the glasses are a display, and what it does essentially is it turns off the video from the actual unit itself and provides me the video on the glasses, and the controls stay on the smartphone, providing us that true functionality. So if you've ever used VLC, this is literally one of the best implementations that I've seen before. But let's come back to again what makes sense here with these glasses. What are they intended for? These are intended to provide you a display, a large display, and a display that you can customize the experience with on the go. And they're in your pocket. You're able to use them wherever you want. There is no need to worry about power. They're powered from the device that you're using, and that's one of the benefits there. The one thing you do need to make sure is that if your device does not support video out, meaning let's say you're using a smartphone that doesn't have video output as a functionality, you do need to pick up something like this. This is the X-Beam Pro, essentially something that Xreal released not that long ago. Provide us a lot of the experiences, and it runs the Nebula application natively on it and gives you the ability of enjoying it without having to worry about does my device support it or not. And of course, it doesn't drain the battery from your main device. Download content on Netflix and so on, all of that stuff's going to work perfectly fine, and you're not going to have any problems there. The big thing I'll probably say overall is the units themselves, or the glasses themselves, they're light, they're portable, they're easy to use, and now with all of the options built into them. And this is the big difference here. We no longer need a second device if your smartphone supports video out. But if, let's say, you don't want to use it there, you just want to use it with your laptop, it works perfectly fine on an airplane, in the office, anywhere you want, a big display to be in front of you without having to worry about it. As far as actually using them, I've actually been using them in a few different configurations. Now, I've had access to a prototype version of these glasses for about a month before they sent me this retail packaging that we're sharing with you guys today. So the overall experience pretty much improved over time as I had access to early hardware or prototype hardware. Using them for an extended amount of time, as far as listening to audio, absolutely fantastic. Watching content, absolutely fantastic. The actual nose bridges that we have in here are very, very comfortable. There's no issues with them at all. And they do provide you the different sizes so you can customize that. Now, having the electronics sit in front of us, this is something to be aware with any basically display glasses that we're using on the market. Whenever there are electronics sitting in there and they're leveraging the technology and using them, there's going to be a little bit of warming. It's not hot enough that it'll actually bother you, but it is something that you need to be aware of, that there is going to be some warming in front of the temple and specifically more closer between the eyes at the top. And it's something to be aware because, again, the X1 chip is working there. It's leveraging the power that we needed to do. But other than that, works really good. Customizations are very nice. Again, everything is pretty much done on the actual devices themselves. And if you do need to update them, just make sure to go to xreal.com/OTA, connect them to your desktop using a Chrome browser, and go through the setup process, and you can update your device to the latest version of the software. With that being said, and everything that I've actually got a chance to experience and share with you guys today, these are by far the most exciting pair of display glasses, AR glasses that are available on the market right now. One of the biggest improvements, again, that we've seen over the years, because we've seen many displays, we've seen high refresh rate displays, large viewing angle displays, but very few of them have all of these functionalities built into them, and leveraging a built-in, an in-house built technology with the X1 chip that just pushes the technology to the next level. My hope is that you found this video helpful and that the Xreal One is potentially your next pair of AR or display glasses that you pick up to augment your experience, or either on your iOS device or even your Android device. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I will see you in the next video.